Welcome to the Free Idea Podcast. Today I have an interesting subject. Video game addiction. I want to talk about it because I'm personally going through it. Now, I call it video game addiction just for the fun of it and to take it serious. It probably is not an addiction, but the more I try to quit it, the more it feels like it is. Like the alcoholic that says that he can quit anytime. I thought I could quit video games at any time, but it's proving harder than expected. And that's what I want to talk about because I don't hear much about it. It's not very popular. And it's an odd thing to do as well, to say, because usually addictions are things that are like something that you put in your body, like liquid or a pill. But there is such a thing as gambling addiction. And gambling and video games today are looking more and more similar as the days go by and the years go by. And so I thought that there is definitely a possibility to be addicted to video games. To those that do not understand, gambling uses, well, to those that don't play video games as much, I'll introduce you to it. Gambling uses a lot of flashy colors, and I'm talking about like the machines that you pull the lever and it gives you colors and it doesn't take a skill. It's not like poker, it's just like the machines. And they use a lot of things to keep you hooked. One of them is flashy colors, another one is noises, sounds when you win, skippable cutscenes, skippable things so you can keep on playing and betting. Converting your money into a token of types so that it doesn't feel like you're actually spending money. Sound so that it tells you when you win or lose, when you were close. And also very engaging, very short span, like a TikTok reel to hook you with attention and as the now general population calls it a dopamine hit. That's where the addiction comes from. And it's not bad on its own until you play too much and it starts hurting you in other ways. So an addiction is usually not an addiction until it starts hurting your outside life. On gambling is if you're spending a lot of money that now you cannot pay your bills or you have to sell things that you hold dear. That's when it starts becoming a problem. When you cannot go to functions, events, or do normal things in your life because all you're thinking is about going gambling. I don't know what the feeling is like because I've never done the gambling, but I do know that every addiction has similarities in behavior because we as people have the same blueprint. We have the same brain, the same heart, the same lungs, the same blood, with little differences here and there. But we function usually the same way, just the same way as a computer always does what a computer does, and a machine moves the way a machine does. There's only improvements in how the machine will later move and how efficient it will be, but it's always just the same. And so I say that when I tried quitting video games, I don't quit them because they're not fun. I love them. The difference here between gambling and games is that they can be used as a hobby and they can be used with people. They also way more accepted. The start it was like that. Now they're implementing more and more gambling things like randomizers when you buy something, and which is always been weird to me that you can buy something and not get what you bought for. You just get a random item. Or you exchange your money for a token of the video game. They hit you with a fear of missing out by having limited time items and events that they happen monthly or yearly, by yearly, whatever it is. Those are the similarities. They also have flashy colors, sounds when you level up, sounds when you kill someone and get points, sound effects when you die. You can skip the cutscene when you die and just get back into the game. And well, it's very similar in those aspects. And there's also the video games that you pay money to play. Even though you already paid for the full game, you can still pay extra just to be stronger than the other person who is playing for free, even though they also pay for the game. Those are the aspects that are very similar to gambling. And there's more, much, much more that I'm just not, I'm going to bore you, and that's not the point of me. I'm not explaining what the differences or similarities are. I'm explaining what gambling is and video game are just because to lay a foundation on what I'm saying and about to say actually. In my addiction of video games where I thought I was strong enough to quit, it was my first the reason. Well, I guess it doesn't matter the reason. The point is that I want to quit. And it's a very compelling reason. It's an amazing reason to quit. Like there shouldn't be any pushback on myself. And I don't quit games because they bore me or because they hurt me. I just well actually they do hurt me in some way, but not in the way that drugs would do or a real addiction would do. So I'm trying to explain, but I'm going all over the place. I want to do it step by step, but I'm really going all over the place. The reason why I want to quit him is because I want to have more free time for myself and I want to focus on my life too. Those who play a lot have realized that you can achieve incredible things and video games can make you feel like you are working towards something, as if you are being productive, when in fact you are not being 1 ounce of productiveness. There are positives to the video games, there are many, but so as well there are drawbacks. In fact, I'd say there are more drawbacks if you cannot control them well. And I'm the person that cannot control them well. So I decided to quit, and then I quit the Clash of Clans game on my phone. It's an app, and it's a daily game where you play every single chance you get during the day, about 8 times or 10 or 50 or whatever. And you get all these incredible fun things, and you have a team, and well, it's just a fun game. And quitting that was horrendously difficult, but I did it. It was challenging because it took me 3 to 4 years. I'd say 3 years to get where I was. I really put elbow grease into it and spend lots of money into it. On Christmas, I would pay $100 for it for the Christmas deals. I only did that once, and I did it because I wanted to do it once in my life. That's how games get you. Forever, I was a free to play player, but one Christmas, I said, I'm an adult now. I got money. I want to spend on it. Sure, I did it only once, and that's good. I actually didn't do it the next Christmas because the next Christmas deal sucked. But if they were good, I would have. Then I do spend monthly on it, about $7 monthly, and then they started taking out an event where you pay again for the month. So I was paying about 15 a month. So it became like a membership game. Now quitting that was difficult because I had spent so much money and time into it. I had become one of the best players locally. I took a screenshot of how proud I was. I was sixth place in my local area, in my trophy range. Sixth place. And I felt like I could easily do first place if I would only focus more time into it. But what's the point? It had a point. And that was that I wanted to achieve something that I never achieved when I was a kid. I never touched that game because it was very strategic. And I thought I wasn't a strategic person. It was like playing chess, but in a more fun way. And so I finally achieved what I wanted to achieve, and I feel proud of myself that I could do it. And once I did it, I just continued the game for the sake of continuing. Well, quitting that was utterly painful. I deleted it multiple times. I told people that I had deleted it so that I would feel some type of chain that I have to follow through with my words. I did all those tricks that one needs to do to stick to it. But eventually, I would download it when I would have finished all my tasks in life, all my chores, and I had way too much free time that I'd said, well, I guess I'm good now. I've quit it for a week or a month, and I'm good to go ahead and try again. I bet I can control it. As soon as I downloaded it, I went back into it hardcore, spending days and nights, and every chance I got, I'd play in the bathroom, I'd play when I woke up, before sleeping, I played, and I played. And it's cool and all if I was, maybe single and childless, but I'm not. I got a life and I got a future family to take care of and think about. And video games do have a place and they're not all evil. But in my case, I really want to focus on what's ahead of me. At least I want to focus for the first year or month. Really, really focus on my life. And then I may make some place for video games again once everything cooled down a bit. And so I thought, yeah, this gotta be easy because I'm not quitting forever, just momentarily. I have an amazing goal to focus on myself and my family. I have an amazing goal to return to it in a year or two. And so why? Why is it still so hard to quit? And that's when I realized this is beyond me. This is not something as, as easy as I thought it would be. It's not inaddictive. Like, it is addictive. It is. It's not alcohol. It's not drugs. It's not gambling. And yet, when I try to quit, it behaves oddly similar to those other addictions, which perhaps is not the content itself, bottle in which it comes in, but instead what it does to the person, to my brain. It's what it gives me. It's what it gives drugs to somebody and alcohol to somebody that video games are giving me. It may not give us the same thing, but that feeling that owns me is powerful enough to be similar. I thought I could quit it right away and easy peasy. And when I did, I would just find myself back at it, despite everything in my body not wanting to get back into it, despite me trying to be smart about it and saying, yes, I can handle it. Yes, I can do it. I'll just do it one time every day. I'll only do it for 10 minutes. I'll only do it between 2 and 4 p.m. I'll only do it maybe 3 times a day and I'll schedule them. I won't do it when I wake up, but I'll do it when I go to sleep. I tried everything that sounded reasonable, and it still hooked me. So I would delete it again and again until so far I haven't downloaded it. Excuse me. It's early in the morning going to work. So yeah, so far I haven't. And I almost called victory because it's been about 3 weeks, close to a month. But something else happened. Another video game hooked me. One from my childhood that I've been never had any interest in it. But since I've been lacking that dopamine hit, since I've been lacking my usual video game rush, I went back to an older game that doesn't do that as much as the newer games do. And this game is called Maple Story. And it's very fun and I love it. And I don't want to stop playing it because it's bringing so much into my life. It's bringing nostalgia. It's bringing accomplishments that I couldn't do when I was a kid because I didn't know English and now I do. It's making me feel that I am able to overcome challenges that were years old now with my new maturity and intelligence. Unfortunately, it came to me the moment that I was trying to stop playing games altogether. It's very hard to go cold turkey. And I've tried and I've deleted it a couple times and I've downloaded it a couple times. And as of today, it's deleted, but I don't know for how long. And that's what I want to talk about it today is the idea that video games can be addictive. Thankfully, I've studied a lot about addictions. I know a lot about it from people's experiences. And that's why I know that this is an addiction. When I played that game after quitting it for a while, all I could think of is getting home and playing some more. Everything in my mind was I'll finish everything I can, all my chores, everything at work, all my homeworks, so that I can have more time for gaming. I stopped gymming because the excuse is that I'm gonna let my body recover and I can game some more. And yeah, the house is good, it's clean, my chores are complete, but even though everything is dandy and pink, I still know in the back of my head that I could have done more. I could have done 1,000% more in the household, in general, in my chores. I could have improved things rather than just maintain things. And that feeling is always with me because instead I played games. And Not only did I play, but I said to myself I would play for 1 hour and I ended up playing six because of how fun it is. Once again, I repeat, I'm not quitting games because they bore me or because I hate them. I love them. They have become a second nature, a hobby, pastime, a sport, a challenger. They have become everything to me. I'm quitting it because there's new responsibilities coming into my life and I need 100% of my focus into those things. In order for me to convey what those things are and make sense, I'm going to be a daddy soon. I might have a baby. And I also have a wife and a house. I'll have to take care of everything the best I can. And I want to take care of everything the best I can. I want to do my best. I don't want to do 90% of my best. I want to do 110% of my best. I want to do even more than that. And video games is just one of those things that holds me back. Sure, they do distress me, and that's why I keep falling back into them. Because when I stop, I get to a point where I feel good. I feel like I have achieved what I wanted. And then I say, now that I'm better, I can control myself. I have more clarity. And I did everything I wanted to do in the house and my life. So let me then allow myself 1 hour of de-stressing time. And that's always the trap that I fall into. It never becomes 1 hour, it becomes six. It never becomes one day, it becomes a week. Until I delete it from my computer again. The argument here is that there's nothing wrong with it because a video game could be like watching football, sports on TV. Somebody could distress by just watching sports on the TV after a long time at work. And then when he's super into that hobby, that person will go to the games and spend $1,000 on the ticket and bring the wife or a friend. And that'll be another $1,000. And then they'll buy shirts and signed footballs and cards, and there'll be more spending to it that goes hotels, whatever. So, in comparison, the hobby of somebody who's into football is not as expensive as the hobby of somebody who's into video games who can stay home, buy something for $60, maybe buy a couple extra things for 15 and play with your friends without having to drive there and renting a hotel. So that's cool. They're both distressors. However, the person that watches football only watches football during certain seasons and times of the year, while video games can happen at any time of the day. They're both not wrong if they're done moderately. My problem is I cannot do it moderately. I have tried, and I've realized that I have no willpower. And I used to believe that I had a lot of willpower. I've quitted so many things and they're being hard, and I eventually do quit them. I eventually go back to them, but I do quit them. Video games is one of those that I quit a long time ago, I remember, for a year. And then I came back to it. And I realized then that I should not quit video games because they are a part of me that I enjoy. And if I don't have them for a long period of time, I would get depressed. Well, you see the problem there. It sounds great. It sounds like I have found something like a hobby of a lifetime. I have a piece of me that will always be with me as long as I water it and take care of it, and that's playing games. But I'm also worried that that might not be the case. Or perhaps that the reason why I would get depressed or sad or bored is because there's not much going on in my life, and that's because I never developed whatever skill was needed to have a lot of stuff going on in my life. Is the question of was it first the chicken or the egg? Was it first that I like games because I didn't have anything to do with my life, or was it because I didn't have anything to do with my life because I played video games? Although, yeah, that's an argument that could always be discussed. And a lot of people who play games for a long time realize that the more they spend in games, the less they have in other areas. And again, they do have positive outcomes. In my life, when I played video games, that's how I started learning English slowly. I spoke Spanish first, and then most video games were in English, and I had to learn the hard way. And that's also how I learned a lot of the American modern language. A lot of the like talk, informal speak. Because I was part of video games and I would talk to people and they would teach me a lot of words I never knew. That's also how I got really good at typing on a keyboard and really good at forming sentences and writing well and spelling. And there's a lot of positives. Also, critical thinking. There's some studies that say that even video games can help your brain, hand, and sight coordination or something like that. I had incredible reflexes thanks to me playing Halo and just giving headshots and shooting everybody in a millisecond faster than they were, like the Wild West, Revolver Showdown, and Moon. Those are the positives, and there's more. I cannot know for sure what I would have been if I had never discovered games, and I cannot know the reverse either. That's not the point. My point is not if video games are good or bad, but I do often wonder and debate myself with that. No, my point is I want to quit it for a period of time, in this case, a year. My point is I have a very good reason why, and I have a very clear result of how that would look like and how much I will get achieved. And yet, I am unable to stop myself from downloading that game again every single time I have free time. I believe myself that I can control it and I'll play it for an hour just to realize it's been a week, 6 hours a day. You see that? That is my problem. That is the part where I compare it to an addiction. The fact that I have all the reasons to quit and I know them all logically, and yet I do the opposite every single time. And I regret it every single time. And I also enjoy it and love it every single second that I spend playing. The point is that my brain wants to do something while my body does the opposite. That is the point. That is why I feel so powerless. That's why I feel like it's an addiction. That's why I compared to one. And that's why I started investigating the similarities between the video games and gambling. Because I started noticing that they do share a lot of things, especially the big game that I'm playing now. It gives me a lot of random things, a lot of flashy colors and numbers. The most fun about it is that I'm increasing my attack power every single time that I play it. My numbers go up. I kill bigger stuff, bigger bosses. I get cooler and cooler armor. I get more and more percentages of damage. And there's 10,000 other ways to keep increasing the damage. There's events, there's fear missing out with more and more events and limited time, cool things that make me more strong or looking good. It has similarities to gambling, and then it has things that only games have and they excel at. It has it all. It has it all. And then I start to thinking, is that the reason why it's so difficult to stop playing? I thought video games were easy to let go of. In fact, they were when I was a kid. There were games that were so difficult that they would make me angry and cry in anger, and I would throw my controller to the floor and never play it again. In fact, I would hate the sight of that game, hate it with a passion. It was easy to quit then. Even games that were super fun were easy to quit then because there wasn't nothing holding me back as much, only the boredom of school. So I mean, even then, it was still difficult to quit, but I feel like it was a tad bit easier just because of how less manipulation was going on at the time, less psychology, less people in lab coats trying to make me keep playing. Although in this case, it's no longer lab coats, it's just people with big old beards and glasses that eat macchiato and they do yoga in their spare time and scream in a cubicle that is soundproof for mental health. There is no more lab coats. Only that. And still, it's utterly difficult. And so I know there's people out there that have gone through this or are going through some type of feeling like this. I know there has to be. I know I'm not the only one because I've seen videos of people. And that's what I wanted to discuss today. I want to talk to those people that they're not alone. This, and if you haven't gone through this and you do love video games, you will go through this, depending if you're a person that gets hooked into it or not. It's like how somebody can smoke a cigar only on a Sunday or Saturday and never touch it again until the next Saturday or until the next family event or whatever. There's people that can do that. There's people that can drink beer during an event, get a little drunk, and never touch beer again. Not even a year later, or 2 years later, or 3 months later. There's no time for it. It's only whenever there's friends, party, or something. And even then, not at every party they will drink. That's me. For me, it's so easy to put alcohol down. Beyond easy to put alcohol down. It just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't. And when I get to the point of being pissed off drunk, instead of getting hooked to that feeling like some people do, and they keep chasing that, I get turned off by that feeling and I stay away from alcohol even longer. That is a very interesting thing going on. But for video games, it's not like that. I get hooked easy. I play for too long. And the more I play, the more I enjoy it. And when I quit, I just love it. And I find every excuse to keep doing it. So I know there's people out there that go through this. And I want to say you're not alone. And I want to also say there must be a reason why video games today are becoming more and more manipulative, more and more gambling like. They are taking more and more from you, more money and more time. The goal is to always make more money, not to make the game more fun or to make you happier. It's to make more money. There are times where making money and making the game fun aligned, and that's when you enjoy it. But that wasn't their goal. Their goal was just to make more money. So if you enjoy that in the process, then that's a bonus for them, but that wasn't what they were trying to do. And you'll notice because most times video games now are trying to piss you off more than anything. So you have something to prove and keep playing. In essence, video games are becoming more annoying, making people angrier, and tricking you a lot more and doing things that are shady and scammy and that should be outright illegal, but they're not because whoever is out there making laws is too old to understand or have lived through what video games are like. They don't understand what it's like. We don't have modern lawmakers. We have old ones, old judges, not modern judges. And if you do have a modern one, probably not somebody who played games because you had to study very hard to get into those positions. And you have to put your life really into it to be a judge and to be a lawmaker and to be into politics and to be into anything or whatever. I'm not into politics, but become a lawyer. And so it's only normal that they don't know the struggles of video games. Anyways, that's just talking a bit of the future on that, on a couple of the reasons why this, why that. It's just the way it is. My point is, and I want to summarize it because I will end this soon. I'm getting close to work. My brain is thinking logically and wants to stop doing something that does not see it as a problem and does not see it as a drug either. My brain says I want to start doing this one thing so I could focus on this other thing. And then my body does something else. Or my brain, I don't know who it is, but it doesn't matter. The point is that I want one thing and I do the opposite. Now we do that a lot. I, in fact, could not call it an addiction because we do that a lot, even with food. Who doesn't want to get into fitness and a diet and gym just to find themselves eating junk food again next week and next month? Perhaps it's not an addiction, it's just a way that we behave. Perhaps it's just a pattern that has been so ingrained that it's hard to quit it. And I just call it an addiction for the sake of seriousness so that I can take it more serious, so that I can take it with more respect and put more effort into it. Perhaps that, perhaps that is just the way that we work. I am not entirely sure, but I do know that it's been proving difficult to me. There's so many things that I've done before and they've all proven difficult, just like this. But I guess I was just in shock that this would be one of those. I thought quitting games was easy because it's just a game. Just turn it off. Turn it off. Just put your phone down, put your computer down, whatever. Turn it off. Oh, sorry. Here, I'm just trying to, gosh, I'm trying to merge. It's a little difficult, but I got it. I got it. It's just very, very difficult. There we go. Boom. So I was shocked that video games were that tough. Just turn it off, just delete it, just forget about it. It's way more difficult than it should be. Dieting, I get it. Food is delicious. It's amazing. Why should you want to quit it? Oh, because it hurts you. Well, video games is the same. It's amazing. It's incredible. I love it. I stop it because it's hurting me. So, would you call a donut a food addiction? Perhaps not. Would you call cake a food addiction just because you enjoy eating cake? Perhaps not. It's just the fact that, and I'm, it's just the fact that video games now are taking a lot from gambling, and so that it makes it a little different. Perhaps cake is taking a lot from sugar, and sugar is addictive in its own way. Perhaps it's just our behavior. Is it addiction or not addiction? Technically, by definition, I think video gaming is not hurting my life in any terrible way, so it's not an addiction, but it is impossible to get rid of. And it is hurting it in a little way that I wish it wasn't, just because I want to do more at home. There is my problem. And so, yeah, it was fun to compare this to. I took you in a journey, first thinking it's an addiction, but now believing it's more like a food, like a cake, like a diet. It's hard to get off of it. Little by little, I'm doing it less and less. It is what it is. But it was surprising and shocking to me how difficult and tough it is to get rid of it with my own willpower. And I'm going on a journey and I want to explore that journey with you. This is so far the beginning. So far, I've deleted it, but I have a feeling I'm going to download that Maple Story again and we'll see. Thank you for listening and see you soon.